So guys, welcome back to some more Sonthan Mythos. Today we are starting a new series. You all have seen and heard of the game Marvel Rivals. Absolutely great game. I've been playing it a lot, though I did have a break for a while. But I am a DC man myself, so I thought, what if there was a DC Rivals game? And here's my concept for a few characters. We're starting off today with Superman. Now, I've seen people do this before, but this is my take, and I think I've got quite good. So far, I have done Superman. I did Batman earlier today, just before recording this video. I've done Green Arrow, and I've done Mr. Terrific, and I've got more in mind, and I plan to make a whole roster. So, Superman enters the fight as DC Rivals' first flying tank, built for control, pressure, and raw power. Now, by that, as you can tell, he's a flying tank. He can fly. We don't get many of those. I don't think we've ever had one. So, what's his role? His role is a vanguard, or a tank. For HP, I haven't narrowed it down, but I'm thinking like 600-700. Movement, flight, a bit like Iron Man in Marvel Rivals. And primary attack, superhuman punches. Heavy melee swings with solid knockback and short range. Think of the Hulk in Marvel Rivals. Passives, Kryptonian DNA. Takes 50% less damage from all non-magic sources. Magic attacks deal their full damage, so no resistance, and kryptonite-based attacks deal double damage. Now, you may be thinking, oh, that's too overpowered. Well, off the top of my head, I can name 4 magical characters that are going to be in the game. Dr. Fate, Zatanna, John Constantine, and Cersei, and that's just 4 off the top of my head. There will be more. And with kryptonite, there is Lex Luthor and Metallo, who are both going to be in the game. So, there's a lot of way around this. And you'll see something cool later. And he's got another passive called Super Hearing. Highlights enemy noise, so footsteps, gunfire, etc., in a limited radius. Great for anticipating flanks or tracking stealthy opponents. I just thought it'd be cool because there was no other way to put it in. But I think this would be a threshold, so it's not like all movement. So, abilities. I've given him 3 abilities, and they are Ability 1, Laser Vision. Tap for short, focused blasts. Hold to fire continuous beam. This is strong for zoning, pressure, and melting squishies, and it's like a mid-range ability. I haven't worked out the damage of what these abilities or the primary fires are going to be yet. I think I'll go over that once I've made the starting roster before I get into the DLCs. Ability 2, Freeze Breath. This does minimal damage, I'm talking 1 to 10 damage, if that, a second. But it slows enemies while active. The longer it hits, the more it stacks. And fully freezing an enemy, locking them in place for 2 seconds. So, freeze breath on an enemy and it slows them down. But say for 5 or 10 seconds, and you've been using it on them and they haven't got away, they haven't got out of it, then they get frozen in place for 2 seconds. I was going to do more, but I felt like that might be too OP. And then his third ability, Super Breath, unleashes a powerful gust of wind that blows back opponents, which is great for space control, denying pushes, or saving allies from danger. And I think this is another one that's charged. You tap it, it blows them back a bit, but you hold it, and you can blow them back further. But I'm thinking with this one, it doesn't deal much damage. But you can blow them off the edge, or just push them off the point. Then his ultimate is Solar Flare. I couldn't think of many ultimates for Superman, but then I remember in a comic, which I believe was in 2017, but I might be wrong about the date, he had Solar Flare, which is essentially he built up all the stored in solar radiation, which gives him his powers, and he was essentially human from then on. And I thought, why not do that? So Superman releases a massive solar-powered energy burst, like Wanda's or Iron Man's ultimates. It's a direct hit equals a KO, and in the immediate area, but it also does splash damage out of that area, so AoE damage as well, though not as high. After using it, he drops to 200 HP, loses his damage resistance, becoming fully vulnerable. It's a gamble, go for the kill, get killed type thing, if you're not good enough. But he drops to 200 HP, he loses his damage resistance. He can't use those 3 abilities, and his damage is drastically dropped from his primary. And he no longer has any resistances, but he also doesn't get double damaged by kryptonite attacks. And like Hulk, needs to wait for it to recharge. When you're being killed as the Hulk and you need to wait as Bruce Banner try to stay alive and that's it. But if you die, you just become Superman again. But I think this is a fun, unique way of doing it. Is it really worth it? Well, it's a strategic thing. You can blow up enemies like on the point, sacrificing yourself potentially, but also potentially not, in order to save the point. It's about being strategic. So Superman is a frontline menace, flying tank, space controller. And when things get real, he brings the sun. Literally. I think this is like a powerful build without being too powerful, in my opinion. And you may be thinking, oh, that's too OP, that's too OP. Wait until you see my other characters. Because, as I've said, I've made 3 other characters. And I've got more in mind. Like, I've even planned Oracle. I'm planning to do the whole Bat family, some of the Superman families, things like that. But this I think, is such a cool idea. Because he does high damage. He takes less damage. I think he'd do high damage. I'm not too sure on that. He can control the space, keep people at bay with lasers, freeze them, slowing them down, or literally blowing them away and then kind of exploding. I think it's great. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to do this as a series, so be sure to check out for the next one, which I'm probably going to do Batman. I know he wasn't the next character I made, but Batman's my favourite. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Till next time, peace.